You know, when it came to saluting, it was President Reagan that really kind of started that tradition. And I really don't know the origins, but I do know that in my unit, specifically, with the Marines, President Reagan, I think there was maybe some trepidation as to, whether he should salute or not because he was in civilian clothes and, with his background. But whatever influenced that decision, he made the decision to acknowledge the Marines. And that really made a huge difference, to a unit that was already committed and really loyal. It had a profound effect on our focus on supporting him. You can see him in many of the video clips, as he's, saluting and recognizing and acknowledging, the Marines. And it came to be, just really one of his, signature marks on how, he treated the people that supported him in his presidency. A long time ago, President Eisenhower, he was on his way to, his retreat. I believe it was in Gettysburg. He was all packed up, ready to go, got on Air Force One and left, boarded a train. I believe that's when the Secret Service folks had realized they forgot his luggage. So they said, hey, you know what, there's some Marines down the road in D.C., in Quantico, Virginia. A little organization called HMX1. They're experimenting with these things called helicopters. They might be able to help out. So we got the call, HMX1 did, and we got his luggage to Gettysburg. It was at that point where President Eisenhower said, well, I'm the president, Secret Service, you guys, forgot my luggage. How is it that my luggage is here before I am? And it was at that point that the president started incorporating helicopters as part of the presidential transportation. First onboarded with the HMX1, I had received orders. I had onboarded in August of 1985. You had to go through a little process there to get a clearance, a top secret clearance that had a White House access. For me, it was about 3 months later that I became a full-fledged HMX1 security, Marine. And I served duty there until it was, December of 1990. So I was there for pretty much all of President Reagan's second term. I was able to support him, been either in direct support or had led nearly 40 missions for him. There was the first time I had seen President Reagan pretty much close at hand was up at Camp David, and President Reagan and his great way of communicating, just acknowledged everyone was there. Asked Nancy to accompany him on a horseback ride. There was a little resistance there, but through President Reagan's persuasion, he was definitely able to persuade First Lady Nancy, on that horse. So knowing that, it was kind of a fun and unique, just a little view, into seeing him. He loved to, fly out to California, and he loved his vacations, out in the California area. And we would take turns, flying up from Point Mugu up to his ranch, just a little north of Santa Barbara. The president enjoyed horseback riding and doing outdoor activities. It wasn't uncommon for him to every once in a while, try to sneak up on you on his horseback, performing your duties, trying to guard him, and then kind of strike up a conversation. The privilege to be the, one of the final Marines to ever, give him his salute, when it comes to, acknowledgement and between his care, his honor, and his respect for Marines. Not only, acknowledged myself and the other Marines, but he used that as really like an iconic gesture, to the nation, something that is an iconic photo today that I was really able to take part of. Working with a President of the United States, President of the United States is, one, it's a privilege. To work for President Reagan as the President of the United States goes far beyond privilege. The impact is highly significant, for myself and for my fellow Marines. President Reagan, I think there was a love affair that he had with Marines, in the sense that one of his quotes that he had was, some people spend their whole lives, wondering if they made a difference. Marines don't have that problem. And I'll say this, if I had the opportunity to tell him, I would let him know that, sir, you didn't have that problem either.